everybody, this is Marjorie. I had Fat Boy at my door the other day, right? He says, hello, darling. I'm just back from the doctor's, darling, and apparently I have high blood pressure, very high cholesterol, I am obese, I have diabetics, and I am on the verge of a heart attack. And I says, you had to go to the doctors to get told that? I mean, I can tell you that. I could have saved you the bus trip up to the doctors. I says, but I'm not surprised. You don't do anything. You just sit in that mocket house of yours day in, day out. You know, he just lies there in the living room like a store duck. I says, you need to get out there and get some fresh air and some exercise. And he says, that's what the doctor told me, darling. So I've actually got something to ask you, darling. I'm saying, right, surprise me. Say something intelligent. He says, would you like to go fishing with me, darling? And I'm thinking, fishing? Oh my God. And I was about to say no, and then I thought, do you know what? Compared to some of the other things he asks me, you know, that I'm getting off quite lightly because I'll no need to talk to him. Well, I'll just have to sit there because it's quite quiet fishing, isn't it? You don't say anything in case, you know, the fish get a fright and they swim away to Neverland, right? So I says, right, I'll go fishing with you. So he says, that's good. And then I was thinking about the fish. My mother had an old saying about fish. She says, Marjorie, see, if you cook a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man how to catch a fish, and you get rid of him for a weekend. I says, oh, that's very good advice. I'll remember that, you know. So might be sending Fat Boy to fishing. Anyway, so we get our rods and our worms and our big trousers and all our waterproof hats and our jogging suits and our picnic, and off we go. And we go down the road. There's a wee fishing area down the road, so off we go to the fishing area. And Fat Boy says, darling, we'll just go down here, down to the river bank. And I says, oh, is that where all the fish keep their money? And he says, no. He's got a selected sense of humour, his Fat Boy. You know, he'll laugh if you give him a bride in a Danish apple fake eggs, but, you know, if you crack a joke, his face isn't quite so happy. Anyway, so down we go. So, and he's hired this boat. He's hired a boat. I says, I am not getting in a stupid wee piddly boat with you. It'll be like the Titanic. You'll begin doing and I'll be up in the air like Kate Winslet holding on to the end, you know, dangling my emerald, you know. So I said, no, I'm not getting in a boat with you. So he says, let's just sit at the side then, darling, and we'll dip our rods into the water. I says, right. So an hour passed, and another half an hour passed, then 20 minutes passed, and I'm sitting going, and I'm like, oh, this is dead boring. I mean, he says he was fishing. He wasn't fishing. He was just skiddling about in the water. I don't think he even knew what he was doing, right? So eventually he's like, oh, darling, I think I've got a fish. Well, he pulls this big fish out the water. It was like, what did he call it? A Halifax, right? A big flat fish. And I went, oh, well done, that's great. Well, you could maybe slip that down the middle and we could have that for our dinner. So he's fair pleased with himself, right? So, but downside is, I think he knackered himself because he fell asleep, right? Probably too much exertion. So he falls asleep and he starts snoring. And I says, oh, no. I am not listening to you for the rest of the afternoon snoring, and I'm not waking you up because I'm not touching you because I didn't bring my rubber gloves and my lemon jiff or my Dettol. So I says, I'm not touching you. So anyway, so that was that. So he starts the snoring. I says, right, I'm not listening to him. And I had a book. I brought one of my wee crime books. So I says, I know what I'm going to do, how I'm going to avoid the snoring. I'll get in the wee boat, go into the middle of the wee fishing area, and I'll anchor the boat. And I'll read my book. So that's what I did. And I thought, oh, this is genius. This is genius. I'm going to get a couple of hours of peace and quiet without Fat Boy snoring, blowing his jaws and scratching his bahookie. Right, so I'm sitting in the middle of the water. And this officer came up, right? He's got the fish patrol on his boat. And he says, hello there, can I ask you what you're doing? And I said, oh, I'm just reading my book. I mean, are you blind? Can you not see what I'm doing? I'm just reading my book. And he said, oh no, I'm sorry, you can't fish here. This is a restricted fishing area. And I says, well, I'm not fishing, I'm reading my book. I mean, I think the man was a bit glaikit, you know. He says, oh no, but you've got a boat and it's full of fishing equipment. And, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to write this up. I'm going to have to, charge you, because you're trespassing and you're fishing because, you've got all the equipment. And I says, do you know what? See if you do that, I'm gonna have you charged with rape. And he says, I never touched you, I never laid my hands on you. I says, no, but you've got all the equipment.